Good evening, brother, sisters, and gender norm resistors. It's time to get back into the shadows with a different crew. With me, your host, Ollamh. Welcome. Yes, as Curie's guest on Twitter, yes, we are going to be playing Shadowrun Dragonfall, the director's cut, which is a significantly different game. It is, a whole different story, yes, but there's more to it than just that. It's more to it than just a different story. The difficulty has increased quite a bit. It has increased quite a bit. Yeah, the difficulty is ramped up quite a bit, which is kind of nice. It's honestly, it's kind of nice. The story is a bit more involved. It's a bit more chaotic. It's not as linear as the previous game. Shadowrun Returns really kind of had a very linear story. You had some side quests and stuff, but there weren't a whole lot of side quests, which was kind of disappointing, really. In this one, you're very much it's very focused on side quests. This Dragonfall is, which is kind of it, and they do it well. It's not just, oh, hey, so while you're waiting to do this, no, it's, well, you need to accumulate a certain amount of money, so in order to do that, you have to do all sorts of runs, and sometimes things go well, sometimes they don't go so well, sometimes you have to make really tough decisions, and yeah, that's how Dragonfall does. Now, hopefully, fingers crossed, this won't have as many kind of stopping points or stalling points. Sometimes when it was loading and stuff like that, or when it was trying to figure out what people were doing and everything, you would have that issue of, hey, it would kind of have an issue with OBS picking up information. That's why the intro kind of stuttered at times before I actually got into the game, was simply because the game was running and it was kind of hogging up some resources. It doesn't run the smoothest, let's just say that. So I don't know if we're gonna have that same problem with this game or not, but we'll find out. That being said, let's go ahead and open up the game and get started. And recognize that the game is running, please. There you go. Much better. It's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, okay, you're being a little slow. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and just jump in, start a new game. We're going to do Shadowrun Dragonfall Director's Cut. We're gonna keep normal. Even though some of the missions are not normal. They are so far from normal, it's not even funny. Let's see. Well, we're going to be a male. We're going to be human. We're going to build basically the same type characters we had previously. We're even going to make them look the same. So hair color, we had it kind of a reddish color. There we go. That's good. No. Okay, that's as pale as we get. Yes. I know how to spend my karma. Now, we want to get up to 5. Because we want the Deadeye shot. We can't get to the headshot quite yet, but we want the Deadeye shot. And we want at least a couple of charisma things. So we're going to go with street and Shadowrunner. Why not? So now we've got 10 more, so we can say boom, boom, we'll do there, and we'll do 3 to body to up our hit points, and 2 into dodge. Really? Okay. I mean, that should be 2, 3. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I just like goofed up the counting. I don't know. Let's see here. Chance to hit also reduces the chance to be hit by magic. Willpower might not be a bad one to add a couple karma to, just to spend all of our karma at the start. It's gonna be Ollamh the Ready. I'm no longer unready. I am quite ready. And alright, we'll hit it. The Harfeld Manor Run. Life was good. Easy jobs, regular pay, a reliable crew, but things went south and you had to drop off the grid. Put a bullet in the past and start fresh somewhere new. The promise of opportunity and anonymity draws you to the free state of Berlin, the Flux State. A grand experiment in social order. Corporations tread carefully here. Even the great dragon Lothweir only has so much sway in the constantly evolving power structure of Berlin. The perfect place for a savvy Shadowrunner to disappear and begin anew. And, as luck would have it, home of your old partner in crime, Monica Schaffer. Schaefer? I'm not sure which. Wait, is she related to Paul Schaefer? No. It's good. It's your third run with Monica and her team. An old castle holdfast, 1 hour east of Berlin, perched on a hill overlooking the countryside. The job is standard smash and grab. Crack the vault, grab the data, get out in one piece. A mediocre payday, but work is work. As the team gathers for Monica's pre-run briefing, you pause to take in your surroundings. Well, I'm pretty sure we just did that, didn't we? $20.54. I think this. I don't know if this takes place at the same time as as Shadowrun Returns or not. It kind of feels like it. The estate grounds are silent, save for the faint whistling of the wind. Your team gathers near a side entrance to the old castle holdfast, cloaked in darkness. The night is peaceful. You know it won't last. Damn right. You know it for what it is, a pleasant illusion that will shatter at the sound of the first gunshot. Listen up, folks. Monica Schaffer. You ran with her back in the day, watched her get her first data jack, now she's your team leader, and a Drek hot decker to boot. We're on a tight timetable. I want to enter the estate, find the basement, open the data vault, extract the files, and bolt. 10 minutes top to bottom. Trying to get home in time for Wormtalk. Dietrich, shaman, the old man of the team. He smiles at her, his facial tattoos writhing in the moonlight. Monica's eyes twinkle with mischief. Maybe. Anyway, how many times have I told you, you can't trust anything that comes out of a dragon's mouth. That tread trash will rot your brain. She grins. It's educational. Besides, This should be a milk run. Security is supposed to be light, a few automatic weapons, no armor. With a bit of luck, they'll never know we were here. Yeah, in my experience, there's no such thing as a milk run. Damn right. Words of wisdom from our new addition. I agree with Ollamh. Glory, razor-clawed street samurai. Her voice is cold and neutral. Her expression placid. This may only be private security, but their bullets don't know that. I can patch you up if I have to, but I'd rather not have to. You people need to relax. We're professionals, remember? Monica raises her arm and speaks into her wrist-mounted comlink. A darkened face shimmers on the view screen. Iger, are you in position? Comlink crackles and the response comes back low and soft. Softer than you'd expect from a troll. Affirmative. The alarm lines have been cut. I have a clear line of fire on the estate service entrance. When you exit the building, the path will be clear. Excellent. Thank you, Iger. Just doing my job. Iger out. The comlink goes dark. Monaco winks at you as she drops her arm. See? We're professionals. All right, people, enough chatter. Our client wants the data from the vault. So we get him the data from the vault. Quick, quiet, and quick. You said quick twice. Worm talk is on tonight. I told you, it's educational. Right, so we need to grab your stuff and we'll head in. All right, so this is where we can decide what kind of weapon we want. Well, we're going to go with a rifle because, hey, rifles are fucking awesome. I love rifles as far as weapons. Grab the rest of your kit, which includes a med kit, a frag grenade, and 1,250 new yen. Well, all right. I love the fact that there's like solar panels and electrical stuff just like tacked onto the old school stone bricks and stuff. It's such a beautiful touch. Wait, is that a motor? You have a motorcycle in your house? That is a really, I mean, I guess that's there are worse parking spaces. A private museum. The owner of this estate must have money to burn. Yeah? You think they'd send a complete skeleton of theropod dinosaur. Can you leave it on there a little bit longer? It appears to be genuine. You know what? I want to see. Can we lengthen the text speed? We're going to say a little bit. We're going to slow that down a bit. The vase in this case looks both very old and very valuable. A fine scroll work of lapis and gold leaf decorates its exterior, and the interior shimmers with the organic beauty of abalone shell. Your fixer could probably move this thing in a heartbeat. You can't help but notice that the glass encasing looks awfully flimsy. Maybe I'll come back for you later. We don't want to cause too much noise before we get this. Let's see. The cask in the display case is decorated with inlaid Okay, that is still fast. Let's go with slowest. Let's see. It's inlaid with panels of ivory scrimshaw. Ooh, very nice. All right, so we've got a door up here. Intel says the elevator should be to the north. We've got a locked door there. Okay, but, you know, you never just go straight for the data. You always explore around. What the hell? Hi. I am very familiar with... Boom! Right, you up here, you over here. Intruders at my position! Are there? Really? You don't say. Alright. Override the lock. See, you can't actually see them, so we're just gonna take you up to here for right now. You're gonna come around to here. Cause you're gonna use your claws. You are claw lady. You need to be a lot closer to be able to throw your dagger. Alright, you come up to here. Monica, you come up to here. So now you should be able to hit them. Really? You can't? No. Oh. What do you mean not enough AP? You need 1 AP to shoot. Fine. Take out your claws, baby dolls. Yeah. And now that he's standing up, he should be easy target for... well, just about anybody else. Yeah. That's how we do this shit. Right. There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Select a deck. Okay, well, Monica's our decker. Monica, jack in. I don't know what's in there, but, ooh, they definitely have some ice. So, bring up your program as backup. Yeah, there we go. That's how that is done. All right, you can come over here and get one shot in with pretty good chance to hit. Of course, also a pretty good chance to be hit. But now we can get some pay data. Antiquities delivery schedule. Well, somebody will pay dearly for that. Oh my god, yes. So back to the entrance point to jack out, and we're good. So we got some extra pay data. Basically extra stuff that we can sell to just random people. Uh-oh. Yep. Alright, you hide behind this plinth. And we've got a guard, we've got a mage, and a Wait, why is Monica still all the way back there? All right, you come in here. And Summon a spirit. Oh, you need 2 to do that. Okay. Well, you know what? You get away from everybody else. Because we don't want them to be able to just be like, oh, hey, just toss a grenade and fucking hit everybody. Alright. Geek the mage first. Claw the dwarf! Alright, that kind of hurt. That also kind of hurt. Monica, Alright, you come up to here. Now you can start shooting. Not that you're gonna do great as far as shooting. Wow, you completely biffed that, dude. Well, you fucked up. Alright, you probably should cast a heal spell on yourself. Wow, that did not do much. Alright, you go over and claw his ass. Like, literally. Come up behind him and claw his ass. Hey, you did pretty good, kid. Alright, so who's got a healing pack? Oh, you've got good healing packs. Hit Diedrich with the heal. Not like the heel of your palm or the heel of your foot, like the healing. Heal him. Alright, moving on. We have a vault to assault. So far, so good. If your skirmish with security set off any alarms, you don't hear them. Monica leads the rest of the team downward to the basement of the Harfeld Manor. Your payday is waiting. The data vault lies ahead. Dietrich's eyes the door and turns to Monica. That's a big freaking vault, Liebig. Like, Liebig. Bigger than on the schematics. The schematic didn't have a date. Our client may have old intel. Sure, our instructions were clear. The data we're looking for should be just on the other side of this door. Monica combs a hand through her hair, parting it to reveal the black plastic sheath of her data check. A quick jaunt into the Matrix, a little digital hand waving, and I'll have this thing wide open. Be right back. A burst of static crackles through the air, through the tiny speaker on Monica's comlink. Iger, still in position outside the estate. Hold on, Monica. Who's in charge while you're jacked in? Monica rolls her eyes. Dietrich fixes his stare intently on the vault door. Glory looks cold and distant, just as she always does. We've been through this before, Iger. You're not in KSK anymore, and that chain of command nonsense doesn't fly in the shadows. We don't need rules and regulations to guide us. The same principles that apply to the flux state. Please, spare me your lecture. Your politics have nothing to do with this. Just get used to it, Iger love. She sighs. Look, it's a simple question. Years of experience tell me that this needs an answer. You know what? Iger's right, Monica. We should have a second in command just in case. Monica stares at you for a moment, clearly irritated. Then that twinkle appears in her eye again. She smiles at you as she speaks into her comlink. Very well, we'll do this one Iger's way. While I'm jacked in, Ollamh is in charge. There's a pause, then Iger's voice crackles out of the comlink again. Ollamh the Ready. Did I hear you right? You're putting the rookie in command. Listen, Iger, you asked for a decision and you got one. This is ridiculous. I know that this is a joke to you, Monica, but I'm telling you. Iger. Monica's tone is all business. Evidently, she has heard enough. The decision's made, you have your answer. Acknowledged. Without another word, Iger's image flicks and fades from Monica's communicator. Sorry about that. Iger can be inflexible. The legacy of a long military career. But she knows what she's doing and she means well. And it's not a bad point. It's a legitimate concern. She hardly knows me. There's a thin line between concern and insubordination. You let me know if she crosses it. I will try. Okay, enough chatter. Let's get this done. Monica turns towards the door, fingers poised on the control of her cyber deck. She glances back at you and grins. See you on the other side. She punches it, projecting her consciousness into cyberspace, her fingers harmonizing with the smooth synthetic staccato that only an expert decker can achieve. Yeah! There we go. Without warning, Monica's back arches violently. Her head jerks back, silencing her terrible screams. Muscle spasms ripple through her face, and her jaw snaps shut, sending a mist of blood spraying from between her teeth. You look down at the nub of pink flesh on the floor. It's the tip of her tongue. Joy! The room explodes into action. Glory leaps towards Monica, her hand outstretched to yank the cord from the data jack. Dietrich surges forward to wrap the team's fallen decker in a bear hug, holding her against the convulsions that rack her body. With Monica's unearthly screams still ringing sharply in your head, you're only dimly aware that the door is slamming shut behind you. Nope, we're gonna help Glory yank the jack. It's not a great way to exit the Matrix, but it can save a life. While Glory holds Monica's head steady, you snatch the cord that connects Monica's data jack to her cyber deck. Without a moment's hesitation, you give a solid yank and the cord comes free. A wisp of oily blue smoke traces away from her data jack to the ceiling. The commingled scents of charred meat and ozone fill the air. You've seen the effects of biofeedback before, but nothing like this. Suddenly, Monica's eyes flutter open. Muscle tremors continue to distort her face, and blood oozes between her lips. You see the muscles of her jaw tensing, and the look of concentration in her eyes. She struggles to speak. Stay with us, Monica, okay? We're gonna get you out of here. Save your breath. Glory's voice is strained. She's had a stroke, a bad one. She'll be dead before we're even back to the van. Talk to me, Monica. What are you trying to say? Slowly, painfully, Monica wrestles her jaw open and blood welled up in her mouth comes pouring out in a slick, covering her chest. She expels a thick, guttural sound that might be a word. Satisfied, she closes her eyes and forces her mouth to make the shapes she needs. Free. Fear. With an effort, Monica opens her eyes and meets yours. The pain and fear in her gaze. And something else. Hope? Fearschwing. Fearschwing. The sudden spasm jerks Monica's head back. She grunts. Then her chin drops to her chest, and her head lolls to one side. Her eyes fix on an object in the next room, a computer terminal. The soft light of a cursor blinks in its recessed screen. Slowly, she attempts to speak again, but the only sound that emerges is long, strangled croak. A look of resignation washes over Monica's face as she stops fighting. Her gore-slicked jaw goes slack and she dies. Okay, so, oh, hello, boys. Come on, you bloody knife, man. All right, finish him off. All right, Dietrich, you come up here. Ow! Rude. All right, activate the terminal. What's she trying to tell us? She was obviously kind of like, hey, go to this terminal, good dude. MCPOS building maintenance software version with a 1 command line enter internal memory checksum invalid. All of the ready, all of the ready, all of the ready, all of the ready. Dietrich scans the room nervously. They've sealed the door behind us. We've got to find another way out of here. What are you doing? Monica was trying to tell me something about this terminal. Must be important. Well, any ideas? Something tells me we're gonna have more company soon. I don't know. Watch my back while I figure this out. Text continues to scroll on the terminal screen. A problem has been detected in a core component of MCPOS. Restore MCPOS to factory default settings. Y or N. Warning, restore process will take several minutes to execute. Connected doors and peripherals will be disarmed when complete. I'll have to hit the Y key, yes? Alright, as you watch the numbers on the screen slowly begin to climb, this is going to take a while. You glance down at the second screen to see that the facility is on high alert. In place of a simple data vault, it seems you've stumbled onto some kind of a massive underground complex. A map of the Holdfast grounds indicates that security forces are en route from multiple angles. The door currently being rebooted by the system restores process are flashing a dull red. If you're reading the display correctly, the only exit from this room will be to the old servants' entrance on the western side of the building. So if this is north, that would be west. At that moment, Iger's image winks onto your comm link with a crackling sound. The image is grainy, flickering in and out. What's going on down there, rookie? Talk to me. Monica's down, Iger. The vault was a setup. Look, I'm sorry, Iger. We couldn't save her. Now we have to get out of here. Look for the old servants' entrance to the west of the main grounds. We'll rendezvous with you there. Iger's silence is thick, but when she finally responds, her tone is professional. Roger that. She cuts out without another word. At least she's not giving any flack. Glory turns to face you, her movements smooth and robotic. Her voice comes in a frosty monotone. What's the play, Ollamh? Our escape route will open in a minute. We hold tight till then. By hold tight, you mean sit here and fry anyone who comes through the door, don't you? Pretty much, yeah. I can do that. I thought so. When the door locks, disarm. We'll break for it. Until then, we'll make them pay for Monica. Damn right we will. Okay, so, now. Ollamh, you need to move over here. Monica, you need to move over here. Dietrich, I want you back over here. And we wait. And I'll go with solid guard. Come back here. Come back here. Oh, she can't do Overwatch? Really? And he can't do Overwatch either. Oh, they've got a drone. Fantastic. I can't actually hit any of them, so we'll just Overwatch. We'll increase his aim. Let's see here. Aids all friends within a 3-tile range with incoming damage reduced by 3. Alright, nobody else is really in your within that ooh, okay, so yep, there's people coming from that side too. Oh, yay! Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah! Alright, Dietrich, summon a spirit. Oh, yes. Send the spirit after the big boy, because the big boy's a pain in the behind. Dear gods, everybody, just chill, okay? Just chill. The figure looking towards you is big, even for an orc. The majority of its body is sheathed in a suit of heavy, overlapping plates. What you can see of its face looks raw and slick, like old scar tissue stretched tight over his skull. He wears an expression of supreme confidence. There's kind of a reason for that. All right, friends, playtime is over. All you Shadowrunners are the same, skulking, sneaking, stealing a vase or two from the museum, no harm. Maybe I'd let you scamper away into the night. But now it is too late for that sort of generosity. Visitors aren't welcome down here. The gaping maw of the minigun jerks upward, an impatient gesture loaded with malice. Drop your weapons and surrender. That's military-grade armor he's wearing, Ollamh. Hardened against small firearms. We'll have a tough time getting through it. I'm less concerned about the armor than I am about the minigun. Those things can tear a man in half. You have 3 seconds before I open the hose. Step out here and surrender. I promise I will make this easy. I'm sure you will. How about you drop the enormous gun and step over here instead? Funny. You're a funny guy. Funny how? Funny like I'm a clown? Like I'm here to amuse you? The orc's gauntleted fist tightens and you hear the distinctive whir of the Vindicator's motor spinning up to speed. The barrels begin to blur as he wields the weapon to face you. Right! Not liking this. Not liking this. Let's give you 2 AP. Yeah! Get his attention, please. I mean, we only have to wait so many turns. So yeah. Oh, well that's not very nice. That is not very nice at all, sir. Oh shit, and we biffed that roll. Okay. So oh, hello! You opened the door for us! How nice! Oh, you didn't really open the door for us. Alright, everybody, you just gotta hold on for 2 more turns. Oh, shit. This isn't good. Oh, you have an adrenal pump that, pumps body full of, gives you 1 more AP for 3 rounds. That's pretty nice, really. Alright, so that should be... Door should open. Yes, good. Everybody gets one last shot in before we, like, run around the fucking hallway. Alright, run, Beavis, run! Yes, go around the corner. Everybody go into the hallway. Put more distance between you and them. Thank you. So they can't actually see you. Oh, hey, look! More guards! Fantastic! But I think everybody should be able to get... Yes, everybody... If Ollamh's able to get out, everybody's able to get out. Well, everybody save Monica, of course. Iger raises from her corpse-strewn perch at your approach. From the look on her face, it's obvious that she's already sized up the situation. I knew this was going to happen. I fucking knew it. The one was a trap. Oh, it was it? Iger grits her teeth and shakes her head. We can talk about this later. For now, we've got to get the hell out of here. It's only a matter of time before more of them come pouring out of that exit. Iger slaps the side of the van. Pile in, people. And Ollamh, when we get back to Cruz Bazaar, we're gonna have a little talk. Oh, with pleasure. With pleasure. Kiersburg, home to nearly 500,000 people, and until very recently, Monica Schaffer. Once a melting pot of cultural diversity, it's now a chaotic mess of wealth and poverty, crime and commerce, anarchy and control. It is also home to your little slice of Berlin. A neighborhood that is called the Kreuz Bazaar. The locals call the Kreuz Bazaar, a safe port in the eye of a storm. The ride back to the Kreuz Bazaar is quiet. No one is in a talking mood. As the van veers past potholes and garbage piles, the glare of streetlights and neon lights plays across your window, painting the world in a kaleidoscope of garish colors. Soon the van rounds a corner and skids to a halt in a narrow, crumbling alleyway. This is as far as Berlin's chaotic streets will take you. Your team wordlessly debarks the vehicle and climbs down into a disused section of the U-Bahn tunnel system. A well-kept secret, providing your team safe passage into the Kreuz Bazaar. Your safe house waits on the other side. Yay! Can't happen fast enough, love. Sooner we get in, the sooner I can get something to drink. I don't know why I made Dietrich Irish, but that's kind of, with his with the occasional right, love. He just sounds Irish, he just sounds Irish to me. You step inside the squalor of the disused U-Bahn tunnel gives way to the warmth of your safe house. A man inside, silhouetted against the dim fluorescent lighting. Oh, come on, this was made in 2014. There was LED lighting at that point. Something bad happened, hasn't it? He steps forward, revealing a pale and expressionless face. Light glinting off the steel-rimmed glasses, Paul Amsel, your team's fixer and landlord. Part deal maker, part information broker. One of the most well-connected men in Berlin. His eyes sweep across the team as he takes it all in. The grim faces, the hard stares, Iger's fury. Monica's absence. I had a feeling. How did she... His face has gone ashen. He swallows, takes a moment to chew on the words before spitting them out. How did it happen? The run was a setup. 1 minute she was cracking the safe, the next she was on the... Okay, maybe... I don't know for certain that it was a setup, but I get the feeling it was a setup. I've seen Monica hit black ice before. This is something worse. Monica died of a biofeedback-induced stroke. That's right. And this idiot stood by and let it happen. Iger thrusts a gloved finger into your chest. You know what? No, I'm just gonna ignore it. Let it happen. She jacked in, she screamed, and she seized. By the time we saw she was in trouble, it was already too late. Yeah, because you never bothered learning what to look for. Muscle contractions and microtremors are good indications of a Decker in distress. I'm assuming that you didn't have anyone keeping an eye out for those. No. If you had, my friend wouldn't be lying dead in a basement. Oh, shove off, Iger. We were all on the lookout for the physical securities. Ollamh included. Throwing him under the bus isn't gonna help anything. Under the bus is exactly where he belongs. Iger turns to face Diedrich. She towers over him, but he stands his ground. I respect you, Diedrich. You know that. But you don't have my training. None of you have. Well, maybe you should have been down in the fucking basement instead of up in the fucking towers, eh? Fucking twat nozzle. Monica was good. She was the best, right? But she was also overconfident. She treated the job like it was a game. Do that long enough and you're going to get burned. Okay, so even you're like, look, she was kind of a loose cannon. She was kind of doing her own thing, so... Iger turns her focus back on you. If you'd been paying attention, you'd have figured all of this out on your own by now. You'd have known that Monica needed watching as much as that door. Iger, enough, Iger. Amsel's voice is hoarse, his expression blank. Enough. Iger pushes ahead, heedless of the interruption. Her voice remains measured, but there's fire in her eyes. How many seconds passed between Monica's first convulsion and her plug getting pulled out? 4? 5? Do you know how much damage biofeedback can do to a Decker's brain in 5 seconds? Look, this won't... You don't have to answer that. Of course you know. Monica died while you stood there and watched. This is your fault. That is enough. Ansel's voice become... Oh, he actually does roar. Okay, I kind of saw him as like more the cool, calm, and collected type. Comes in a roar. His fist smashes down on the desk behind him. Iger, you and Ollamh can have that out later, but I had enough. We need to talk action. Our client sent you into something much bigger than he led us to believe. I want to know why. Right there with you, laddie. This is supposed to be a milk run, eh? Payback isn't the only reason why we need to find him. We saw something back there. Something that we weren't supposed to see. it's fair to assume that we're all still in danger. Agreed. And to neutralize that danger, we need to know who we are dealing with. Let's just review the events that transpired tonight. The smallest detail could be important, so hold nothing back. Alright, the state was just the front for whatever was going on in the basement. That much is clear. It wasn't a minor enterprise either. That facility took serious funds to build. And time. There was more to it than we saw. Places that don't spring up overnight. And all in secret. The owners, whoever they may be, were none too pleased by your escape, I'm sure. What else did you find? Good. Right, after everything went to hell, we were confronted by an orc in military-grade armor. He appeared to be the head of security. That is not much to go on. Do any details about the orc come to mind? Any distinguishing features that I could look into? He was an older guy for one. From the sounds of his voice, I'm guessing mid to late 40s. Pretty old for an orc. And he had skin grafts. Most of his face looked like a replacement material. If the grafts came from a legitimate hospital, there may be medical records. That is something. I will see what I can find out. Did you note anything else during the run that may be of value? Yeah, Monica lived just long enough to say name. Fairschwing? She fought hard to tell us. Must be important. Amsel seems taken aback. He pauses for a moment before responding. The Firewing. That is unexpected. You'll have to forgive me. This brings back many unpleasant memories. The Firewing? The most terrible of the great dragons. There are those who would disagree, but they never experienced the terror of living in her shadow. He glances at Glory. You are far too young to remember her, of course, but for Germans of my generation, the name Verschwing is synonymous with chaos, destruction, and death. The dragons of today are subtle creatures, full of patience and guile. Verschwing was not. After her awakening, she went on a 4-month rampage that claimed tens of thousands of lives. Amsel takes a deep breath, slowly releases it. There's a haunted look in his eye. Those were dark days. Countless men, women, and children were slaughtered, roasted alive in their homes by a creature that of legend. No hope for salvation, no end in sight. It was a horror that you cannot begin to understand. What stopped her? I can't imagine that a rampaging dragon would just go away on its own. No, probably not. Eventually, the Firewing was brought down by a man named Dr. Adrian Volker. Well, with the help of the Luftwaffe, of course. But it was experimental weapons designed by Dr. Volker that finally pierced her hide. She fell in a hail of bullets and rocket fire and crashed down in the radioactive wasteland of the SOX. This event was called the Dragonfall. And there we go. We have a credit. We have a title. We can just stop here, right? We know what the Dragonfall is. We can just call it. I mean, in the reawakened sixth world, I mean, yeah. In some novels that I've read as far as Shadowrun, yeah, they actually use heat-seeking. They actually use multiple heat-seeking rockets to take down a dragon. And then in Germany, who else are you going to look at to help fight a dragon other than the Luftwaffe? And welcome, Caden. Welcome. Safe at last from the dragon's wrath, Germany celebrated Vauclair as a hero. Our own Siegfried, a modern-day dragon slayer. My own family practically worshipped the man. Well, okay, fair enough. Well, I don't know if a Panzer battalion would I don't know how ground-based weaponry that is. I mean, like I said, unless it's heat-seeking, you're not really gonna be able to hit a dragon that can, like, a literal flying worm that can, like, twist and turn on a dime, and not to mention it has a whole shit ton of magical powers. Flamethrowers, I mean, again, it's a dragon. Most dragons are kind of especially fire dragons that are burning people in their homes, are kind of resistant to fires. So, I don't know. It would be interesting to know, but I mean, at least it's. I mean, as bad as dragons are, at least they're not. At least we're not dealing with bugs like last game. Like, bugs had to be nuked at one point. That was the only way to kill them. Even with the help of dragons, it's like no, nope. Just nuke the city. Just nuke the entire goddamn city. Well, okay, that is a good point, Caden. That's a good point. But in this Germany, Germany at this point in this iteration of Shadowrun is a free state, a flux state, as they call it, or the flux state. Basically, a whole lot of micro settlements banded together as a whole, trying to hold together the idea of a nation, while just kind of like being like, yo, we are taking care of our own, but if the big shit happens, we'll kick in and just like we'll duke it out together. There is no centralized German government at this point. At I think it was 2054. There's no unified German. At least not in Berlin. Not around Berlin, at least. I don't know about the rest of Germany, but Berlin is like a bunch of micro feudal states, basically. Of which ours apparently is like covers several million people, which I don't know if that is a micro state or not. That sounds like a pretty big fucking power. If the Dragonfall was as important an event as you make it out to be, I'm surprised that I've never heard of it. Those early years of the awakening were traumatic, Iger. Not just on a national level, but on a global scale. Okay, so where he's talking about was like right at the beginning of the Awakening, so Germany and Berlin and everything was still very much a unified thing. So, I mean, maybe. Maybe. I mean, that isn't actually a really excellent question. How did the World War II Germans paranormal research, how did that go within the structure of Shadowrun? Because it's like there should have been, if they were doing deep research, they should have found things that were harkened back to the Fifth Age, or the Fifth World, when there was, the last awakening of magic and magical beings and stuff. I don't know how they would have. I don't know what they would have found, or how they would have determined what was good and what was bad. New species of awakened animals were being discovered daily. Within 2 years of the Dragonfall, the active use of magic had returned to the world, a new source of terror for a bewildering public. And in 2021, the sudden emergence of orcs and trolls gave rise to yet another wave of global panic. Well, I mean, looking at that, I mean, wow, that kind of puts things in perspective, doesn't it? Like 2020 and 2021, I mean, instead of getting dragons and orcs and trolls and, the breaking of all known national boundaries, pretty much all we got was a global pandemic, and we had to stay at home for a year or two. I think we kind of got off easily, really. Exactly, Kate. It's like, so it was like, wait, was the coronavirus really just supposed to be the awakening? Was that supposed to be everybody being goblinized, as the Japanese in this world would say? I mean, I don't know if anybody who really changed in appearance or abilities, but yeah. I mean, if you're looking at it as a non-physical representation, they're not that far off. They're really not. It's like, oh yeah, they're actually kind of accurate, because oh yeah, most countries, especially after the whole pandemic, yeah, most countries are in a fractured state. We found a lot of trolls and a lot of orcs and a lot of just really, dragons, other than the great dragons that just were bent on destruction. Most dragons are all about collecting power and manipulating anybody and everybody near them. That's why they say never deal with a dragon. Shadowrun actually makes sense. That's a little concerning, honestly, because it's like, no, it actually kind of makes sense. All the nations are kind of breaking apart. Nations are fracturing within. Yeah, you have manipulative assholes that are like, oh no, I don't give a fuck about your needs. What can you do for me? And the minute you are not able to do what I want for me, I abandon you. Sounds like a lot of modern day politicians worldwide, just all around the world. Yeah. And a lot of people have spent so much time at home over, during the pandemic that they've kind of like discovered themselves and kind of blossomed into themselves. Shit. God damn it, this should not be making sense in reference to the fucking pandemic. It should not be making sense, but god damn it, it does. Where the fuck where are my real life Aries predators? Where are my real life Aries predators? Where's my real life, Aries alpha? Where the fuck are all the awesome goddamn weapons that are just oh no, they are just a treat to have. More importantly, where the fuck is my data jack? I don't want to have to click and type and all that No, I want to just be plug in and be yo, I'm out, bitches. I'm doing this I'm not just doing this virtually, I'm doing this just non-physically. Also, I may need a synthetic liver within the next 10 years, so maybe get on that. Just saying. In light of such turmoil, is it any surprise that Dr. Vauclair and the Firewing were forgotten? Dragons were yesterday's news. He rubs his temples. Again, all of this happened decades ago. Over 30 years ago. To the best of my knowledge, the story of Verschwing is a bit of a historical trivia and nothing more. I mean, I don't know if we went straight Orwell. I don't know if we just went straight Orwell. I mean, Orwell was kind of reading the room when he was writing. If you look at Animal House or Animal Farm, look at Animal. Yes, let's talk about George Orwell and Animal House. No, so just no. Now, if you look at George Orwell, in particular Animal Farm, he really focused on a lot of great, wonderful ideals and stuff like that. It wasn't, a lot of people look at Animal Farm and say, oh, it's showing the evils of communism, except for it wasn't. It was showing the evils of Stalinism. Of somebody who comes in and says, yes, we're all equal. We all work towards the greater good, and everybody partakes of the fruits of that labor, except for I and a few select people get to decide how much you get to partake. That was Stalin. That was Joseph Stalin. He was a dick. He was an absolute fucking cockmunch. That honestly, I can see this in a lot of modern day U.S. politicians where it's yes, we are all equal, but some are more equal than others. I don't think we've reached the 1984 George Orwell yet. We don't, we don't have constant supervision from all vantage points yet. So, all right. I agree. I absolutely agree. Now, Lenin had some good ideas. He did. He had some genuine good ideas and some good opinions. But, oh, yeah, Rasputin, I mean, you know, you look at what they were talking about. They were talking about Rasputin, Stalin, Putin. It's like, oh yeah, these are people who were, they took what came before them and just like twisted it to their own personal their own personal profit, because they were absolutely fucking profiting off of everything that they could touch. Oh yeah, I understand. There's a lot of things that are that will track you and keep an eye on you, can record your image, can record your audio and stuff like that. But I don't have to sit in a small little corner nook to be away from that. Like, I can go around, I can go up to my kitchen. Whoa. Pardon me. That was that was the garlic and jalapeno turkey burger with turkey bacon. Ooh, it tastes just as good coming up as it did going down. But you know, I mean, it's like I don't have to have like a very specifically designed nook to avoid these things. Maybe I'm a little bit different than others. I mean, I don't have a smart. I don't have any kind of a smart Alexa Siri setup. I don't have these little pods that listen. That all I have to do is say, "Hey, blah, do this." It's like, no, I don't want that. I've never wanted that. I mean, people seem to be welcoming the idea of the Big Brother future, and I think that if people accept where this is going, and they accept things like Siri and Alexa and all this shit, yeah, that's absolutely where they are going to walk gleefully into that future. I think they will. It's not necessarily cemented right now, because, like I said, I know I've talked about this in the past. I mean, there was a neighborhood here just outside of town that, you know, they put in smart locks on all their doors, and somebody rolled in with a ham radio, an old school ham radio, jamming out a signal on a specific frequency that basically, because of that signal, nobody could unlock their doors from their phone. It was just like, yeah, fuck you. You wanted a smart house? Now we're going to prove to you that it's a dumb house. Thank you. All right, so Iger says, all right, so Monica spent her dying breath trying to tell us about a long-dead dragon. Iger sweeps her eyes across the group, searching for a glimmer of insight. Finally, she gives up. Any ideas why? Maybe because the dragon isn't fucking dead? Amsel's voice trembles with frustration. No, it doesn't make any more sense than it does to you. The Dragonfall is ancient history. Fairstring has been dead and gone for 42 years. You are assuming that a dragon is dead, and you are a fucking moron for that, sir. You saw the dragon go down, but did you see the... Let's play Marvel rules, Saw rules, pretty much any movie or TV show rules. Did you see a dead body? If not, you have no evidence that they are dead, and you should automatically assume that they are still alive. always do that. Always. If you do not see a lifeless corpse, assume that the person somehow, some way survived. And this is why I'm really looking forward to Echo, because I want to see the blind. I want to see blind Kingpin. I want to see blind Kingpin. But there's one thing I do know. Whatever Monica saw, whatever she was trying to tell us, it was important. No, it was her dying fucking words. Yeah, I think it was important. Fucking really? Really? Paul, you were fucking... He's supposed to be the mastermind of this whole operation, and yet it's like... I mean, I'm pretty sure it was important. It was her dying word, that's all. I mean, you know, who knows? He visibly struggled to calm himself down, taking a deep breath and slowly releasing it. I will look into this, and I will find answers. In the meantime, did you turn up anything else of value? That's all we got, man. That's not much. It is thin, I agree. A basement, a middle-aged orc with skin grafts, and a long-forgotten world event. Wait, we're missing something. Who paid us for this run? Who sent us there? Yes, thank you. Finally, somebody putting shit together. I do not know his exact identity. I did not set up this run. Monica did. His face reddens. I warned her. I told her not to take the job, but she assured me that it would be a cakewalk. Monica was approached recently by a man who calls himself Green Winters. I'm sorry, is he like a container of mints, like wintergreen? What the fuck? He used to be a prominent activist in the Flux State political scene. I never much liked the man, and I certainly never trusted him. But Monica, she would do anything for her cause. Anything for the Flux State. Winters swore that the data he was after was crucial to ensuring the future of the stability of the Flux. And that was all it took. Sounds like Green Winters. Gwinterines, yes, let's... Sounds like Green Winters is our best lead then. Yes, most definitely. It is clear that Dear God, what is wrong with my mouth today? Fuck! It is clear that Green Winters has involved us in something much larger than he led Monica to believe. When he finds out what happened on the run, he's probably gonna rob it. We need to chase him down before this happens. I agree, absolutely. So, we need information on Green Winters, and we need it fast. There is a man in the Klis Bazaar, a Turk, named Ollamh Barakazi. He owns a little soy calf shop just down the way called Cafe Sezvi? I'm going with Sezvi. I don't know if it's right or not. I'm going with Sesvi. This man is also a purveyor of information. I have done business with him before from time to time. And do you think he knows something about Green Winters? When I discovered Monica's renewed association with Green Winters, I contacted Ollamh. Oltog. One of his people has been keeping tabs on Winters ever since. As I said, I did not trust the man. For good reason, it would seem. I'll talk to Oltog and see what he knows about Green Winters. Very well. Tell him I sent you. I will do what I can to dig into the information that you've uncovered already, sparse though it may be. Alright, first things first. Before, so we are, this is about where we are going to end for tonight. I think this is where we're gonna, this is kind of where we're looking at ending. Where is our karma? Our charisma? You know, I don't know. I don't know what to do. But first things, I do know what to do. First things first, we're going to come up here to Dante. Dante, you old dog. Literally. Well, hound. I will not call him a dog. I will call Dante a hound. As you start towards the safe house door, a large four-legged form steps around the corner. Dante, Monica's hound, as an enormous mongrel of indeterminate breed. A low whimper emerges as he enters the room, head hanging low. Oh shit, Dante. Don't worry, boy. We'll look after you. At the sight of Monica's dog, Amsol's eyes swell up. He inhales, but can't quite catch his breath. He started whimpering about an hour ago. Turned into a full-blown howl. Wouldn't stop. He closes his eyes. That's when I realized something bad had happened. Looking down at those huge brown eyes, you see intelligence and sadness. Lets out a small whine and rubs his head against you. You know what? I'm gonna grab a bag of soy jerky treats off the table, and I'm gonna give him one because I want a hound in my pound. Not in any freakish way for those of you that are like of that you know, whose minds tend to go to the dark corners. Dante takes the treat in his mouth, but it's clear he has no appetite for it. The jerky drops to the floor. He leans into you and looks up mournfully, pressing his ribs against your leg. I guess the dog is going with you, Ollamh. Amsel takes a ragged breath and releases it. Then slowly, melancholy smile. Then a slow, melancholy smile plays across his face. Well, perhaps a part of Monica lives on in Dante. Return to the safe house when you've finished with Oltog, mein Freund. With a little luck, it can help us locate Green Winters, and we can get to the bottom of this. And now I think we should all take a moment for Monica. Agreed! And that moment's gonna actually be a while because we's gonna save. We are going to save, and game saved. Excellent, because that is where we are going to end for today. Whoa. Yeah, see, it's trying to shut down and stuff, and it's like, oh, hey, we're like, wait a minute. As it's trying to go from one screen to another and stuff like that, it kind of fucks up a little bit. It kind of jolts and jerks and just kind of like, wait a minute. That is one of the problems with the way they coded those games, is they don't play well. They don't really play smoothly. That's why, if you look back at Shadowrun Returns, some of the intros were things. The screen would freeze for a moment and then come back and stuff like that. That is strictly because I had the game running in the background while I was doing the intro, so when the game would cause a problem or frame rates to drop, everything would drop. Everything would be like, whoa, wait, we're just gonna seize up here, and just kind of nope, no, sir. It sucks. Anyway. As always, thank you guys very much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to press the like button. If you're new here, don't forget to press the subscribe button. If you want to be kept up to date of when we go live, when we upload new videos and stuff like that, you can definitely ring the bell here on YouTube, which should be somewhere around there, I think. Somewhere around in there. But also check out the social media links down below, the Facebook page and the Twitter account. We'll always make sure to post when we go live, when we upload videos and stuff like that. And the Discord, the permanent invite for the Discord channel, where we talk about all kinds of weird shit. All of that so that you can stay tuned for more from Ollamh Productions. Cheerio!